We're starting Be'ez Hashem Siman Chaf Vav Vayoel Moshe, and he's talking about Rashi's shita that Shalo Yidchachu Saketz means not to daven too much. So the question was, what's called davening too much? So he says like this: we have to understand something. Kivan shekol midrashim ve'targum yoyesen hayugluim v'yaduim lifnei Rashi zal. In the previous Siman, we brought down midrashim that say that Shalo Yidchachu Saketz means physical action. It means like Bar Kochba, it means like Ben Ephraim. They did physical things to get out of Golus. And he brought the Targum Yonason, which also says that what are you fighting against Gog and Magog to go out of the Golus? So again, what is Rashi deviating from these sources? Right? Rashi knew about these sources. It's the Targum Yonason and the Midrashim. Rashi knew about them. Rashi had them. Shaharehu meviyam v'mekoymes ein mispor. Rashi brings them down in numerous places, so why didn't he say like them? He says, all the drashas in these midrashim is mevur she'ashvuos kavanosam al pu'ula enoishis biyadayim. We see that the shvuos are talking about doing a physical act, a human act. K'moy she'asu b'nei Ephraim u'ben koziva u'mashichei hasheker. Imkein menalei lechadesh pirish chadash. So how does Rashi know to make up a new pshat in Shalo Yidchachu Saketz? Shalo nizkar b'divrei Chachamei Nizal. It's not mentioned in the words of Chazal. Shekoy al amar b'tachnun yoyis midad. It's going on someone who davens too much. Kivan shebevada yesh chiluk beinu and yonim. Since he explained in the previous Siman that there's a big difference between doing actions and doing prayer. Prayer is something that shows emunah. Action shows a lack of emunah. Yeah. So since it's a tremendous difference, how did Rashi know to say this big chiddush that this is called being over on the shul? The Maharal mi Prague, the Sifroi. Now he's going to bring a ride now from the Maharal that really Rashi agrees with the pshat of the Rambam.
Maharal even said not too much tefillah. This I did see.
Right. So he's going to bring that the Maharal says that, and at the same time the Maharal holds that being doichkas kates means physical action. So you see that he's not learning that Rashi meant davka prayer. Rashi meant both. Take a look. He explains the Shevuos. Right away at the beginning, he starts out with Rashi's pshat. That not to force the end. He says, to bring the end of Golus too early through prayer. But at the end, when the Maharal comes to explain what the Shevuos are about, we had the Maharal, the Rabbi quoted it in Siman Chaf. He says, Pirish Mashamu Shishbian B'dorei Shel Shmad, that when the Medrash says that Hashem made the Yidden swear even in the generation of Shmad, of destruction, so that they won't go out of Golus, even if they torture them. The Emperor Hadrian, when that time they were, Rabbi Kiva the Meister, they used to torture Jews to death with combs of iron. Even if they want to kill them, with difficult torture. Even then they won't go out of Golus. The Maharal explains, it says, ends off that we have to understand this. We talked about it in Siman Chaf, what he meant by that. So you see here the Maharal is saying Rashi, but he's saying the other pshat of going out with physical action. How do you know? Because Batchila Kasa Pirish Rashi Zal Dekoy Al Tefillah V'Rachamim. First he says over Rashi, Well Vasoi if Kasha Kasav Shlo Yavru Al Shvua Afim Yechufu Oisam Be'oinish Misa when he says that they can't go out of Golus even if they force them, even if the Goyim force the Yidden. You can't say he's going on transgressing the oath in regards to tefillah, because he says you can't force someone to pray. He says you can't force someone to do something that's in the heart, right?
Continue.
it must be that the Goyim were forcing the Yidden to do some action. Shal yitzim na galus koydem hazman, to go out of galus before the time. He also says a lashon of they should not go out of galus and shibud. So that's mashma klar. That is not talking about prayer. V'zeu k'mash kosav a Rambam. That's like the Rambam in Yigeres Teman, who says that it's going on an action, like a false Mashiach. U'k'mash mo'es divrei midrashim that Targum Yonasan. That's like the midrashim Targum Yonasan say that it's going on action. Nimsa shaladaito yashvur shalayitchus akates koilalis kol minei dechika. So you have to say that the Maharal learns that it's going on both. It's going on action and it's going on prayer. Any kind of forcing to get the end to come. The Eza Oifen Shiyah. So, and he said over Rashi, so it's mashma that he learned that way in Rashi too. So if that's the case, so why didn't the Maharal say that to begin with? Why didn't he bring anything else? Why did he only bring down Rashi? And Stam, we have to know the Makor. How do we know that the Shvuah is going on prayer? How could the Oynish be so great for praying? We didn't explain how much is too much. What's the borderline for Shal Bakashis Rachamim Yosim Midai? Now, the Rebbe doesn't get back to this question until, take a look, Siman Ayin Tes.
What?
Ayin Tes.
Ayin Tes, sure.
It's on page Tzadik Daled. Ayin Tes is a very long Siman, so it's near the beginning, page Tzadik Daled. Paragraph starting Ve'efsher.
Efsher, yeah.
See it?
Yes.
Okay, he says, Ve'efsher shemachmas kush shezu, because of this kasha. Now what he said before was that the Shvuah is not a real Shvuah, because these things, going out of the Galus before this man, is any of kfir. It's any of denying the Gzeres HaGalus, denying that Hashem put us in Galus and that He's going to bring us out. So therefore, this is not a Shvuah. The Shvuah is just an added chumrah, but it's not the main thing about the Shalosh Shevuos. So he says, so then why did the Gemara use a lashon of Shvuah? So he says, maybe because of this kasha, Ra Rashi's al haisif. That's why Rashi added on Lefarish to Koi Gam al Amar B'Tachnunim Yoisim Midai. It's going even on someone who does too much davening. Shezeh V'adai Eino Kfir B'Ikar. Because in that case, it's not kfir. To daven too much is not kfir. Even though Rashi knew about all the midrashim, even though the midrashim say that the shvuah is going on people doing an action to take a geula on their own, and that's considered the transgression of the shvuah. There's no raya from the Gemara anywhere that it's going on davening. The Rabbi is going to bring a little bit later in of Tes, I think, that there's a Maisa with Rabbi Chia and his sons who davened for the Gula, and Rabbi, put them there on purpose because he knew their tefillah was powerful enough to bring the Gula. Yeah. And it almost happened until Hashem stopped them, and He sent the Eliyahu Navi to stop them. Yeah. So it's a raya from Rabbi's Havamina, at least. You see that Rabbi wanted to do it. It's mashma that you're allowed to do it. So it's schwer why Rashi say something that's against Rebbe. But that's why Rashi didn't want to say it was going only on action, because an action is complete fear. He brought the Gemara in Soita that it's when you say someone is Aura, it's mashma they're only Aura and they're not something worse than that. So the same thing here. If you say someone is Aura on a Shvuah, it's mashma it's nothing worse than a Shvuah. It's a lav, it's a Shvuah. Is that enough? But for sure Rashi is still moida that it includes actions. He says that the Shvuah also includes people who do action, and the Shvuah is just coming to add on to the Oynish. That Shvuah, the Rabbi explained in Hakdama, that Shvuah is the Oynish is on the whole world. Okay, so that's what he's going to say on this kasha. That why Rashi picks prayer, because Rashi's saying that it's even prayer, because that's something that's not kfira, so that's why it's called a shvuah, and nothing worse than that. So that's why the Maharal, when the Maharal brings Rashi, he can still say that the shvuah means actions. Now I just printed out here for you in page 1, the Nefesh Ada, Yaakov Ziesberg, the Zionist, but an honest Zionist. He brings down the other side and he tries to slug it up. So he brings down the Satmar Rebbe here, and in the highlighted part, right before the highlighted part, he brings down that the Rebbe says that the Shalosh Yitzchak Hates is pretty much everyone agrees that it's Aser. Even the Avnei Nezer, who says that with permission from the nations, there's such a thing as going to Eretz Yisrael with masses of Jews, but that's only the Shvuah of Shelo Yalu B'Choyma. But Shalosh Yitzchak Hates, everyone agrees that it's Aser. So he says, Yesh Lodin al Divreihem. He says no. Even according to the Girsa, now there are two Girsais. One is Shelo Yirachaku. We're going to get to that soon, the next Siman. But even according to the Girsa of not forcing the end, Shapir Rashi Shelo Yarbu B'Tachnunim Yoyis Midai, not to daven too much. Ho Ister Hu Kamoish Nisbar Le'el Lahavi Esav Amashiach Be'emtzoi Shevuos Be'Hashbois. The Ister is, the Rebbe is going to bring also, the Chasam Sofer and the Yismach Moshe say that too much prayer means to make Shevuos on Hashem, to force Hashem to do something. Like you see, Eliyahu Navi once made a Shevuah, there won't be rain, right? And Cohen Mago made a Shevuah, I'm not going to go out of this circle till you bring rain. So, and then he brings Yosef Del Arena, the legend of the Mekubal who wanted to bring Mashiach through being Mashpia and Malachim. So that's what the Chasam Sofer and the Yismach Moshe learn, is pshat and davening too much.
You could pray for an independent state without Mashiach, according to him.
According to this
yeah, but you could pray for an independent state without Mashiach.
I guess so, which is kind of ridiculous, but
yeah.
Anyway, so he says, Oyal Yidei Tefillah B'Tzibur, or it could be another pshat in davening too much is Tefillah B'Tzibur, or Tefillah Tzadikim. You could always add on your own private tefillahs for Mashiach, but if you're going to daven b'tzibur, make a whole yom tefillah, daven for Mashiach all day long, or Reb Chia Ubanov, which was a special koyach, that's the Isser. Aval ein Isser lasois pe'ula maisis. He says, according to Rashi, there's no Isser to do an action. L'tzorech yishuv Eretz Yisrael.
But Rashi did say Yachad B'Yad Chazaka, so it's impossible.
That's the first shvuah. That's Shelo Yalu B'Choyma. But he's timing that according to Rashi, Doichek HaKetz only means with prayer. And he says that the Satmar Rebbe wasn't really going like Rashi, because he says, Achino Admar Misatmar, he's Tamech al Divrei Rambam, Yigeres Teman. He's relying on the Rambam, not on Rashi. But as we just saw, that's not true at all. The Rebbe does say that he's going in Rashi. And he says Rashi means even prayer and kol shekain actions. Okay, just wanted to show you that. And we'll get more about the Shevuah in the next Siman.